Hi, all you fabulous Sagittarians. This is Maxine Taylor, and I have your August forecast right here. And I can't wait to share it with you. But first, I want to mention something. I keep getting requests about, I get questions from people who want to know astrology and don't have the information. And a lot of them are asking about, well, is there a book? Oh, yeah, there are lots of books out there. Here's the first one I recommend. I'm biased. I wrote it. It's called Now That I've Cast It, What Do I Do With It? Which is what my students used to ask me when I taught astrology back in the 1960s and 70s, because we would always start with the math. We didn't have computers then. And so I weeded out the sincere from the insincere by hitting them with the math first. And so their question was, well, okay, now that I've cast it, what do I do with it? And that was part 2 of the course. This book is so easy to understand. It is designed to help you use your brain, your mind, instead of memorizing things from a book. It is designed to help you express your inner astrologer, and it's available on Amazon. My latest book, Hidden Messages in Your Birth Chart, is for the student who really wants to get down to the who, what, when, where, and why about themselves or a friend or relative. This book helps you see your programming, your childhood programming that still runs your life until you look at it and face it. And then the next step is to let it go. But that's my next book. Anyhow, this is a book for the person with a strongly psychological interest. And it too is available on Amazon. Okay, Sag, let's talk about this amazing forecast that you got here for August. It's just fabulous. You can see all this activity up at the top of the chart, which I just think is terrific. Let's start with the sun, the yellow planet. The sun is the giver of life. It is the center of our solar system. So it's the center of our life. Wherever it is, it shines a light and awakens our awareness to that particular area of life. Okay? And the sun is the giver of life. So wherever it is at any given time, that's the area that comes alive. Well, it starts in your 9th house of your principles. Now, a Sagittarius tends to be a sign of principle and truth. You do not lie, you do exaggerate for effect, because you got a great sense of humor. And you tell the truth. It can cause you to put your foot in your mouth, but hey, lots of us do that anyhow. And so with the sun in the 9th house, and it's been there for a month, your mind is open to options it didn't know it had before. You're seeing a much bigger picture. Very often, people can't see the forest for the trees. With the sun in the 9th, you see the forest, you see the trees, you see the sky, you see the truth. It's marvelous. On the 22nd, the sun moves into your 10th house. And so your career becomes the center of your life. First, it's your belief systems. Then it is your public image. And my suggestion with the sun, which is leadership, in the 10th house, which is at the top of the chart and deals with your public image, I would suggest that you move upward in your career. Apply for an advancement. And this is a position, 10th house sun, of being in the public eye. I think it's terrific. Go for it. Upward moves. Okay, Mercury, the blue planet. That's what we think about and talk about, right? So in the ninth house, you've been talking about a much bigger picture. You've been perhaps traveling, perhaps studying, uh, most definitely seeing options you didn't know you had before in any area of life. That's why I like the ninth house. Now, on the 11th, before the sun moves into the 10th house, Mercury moves into the 10th house. And again, wherever Mercury is, that's what you think about, that's what you talk about. And so if you, with Mercury in the 10th house, you would be probably very good at right now at a position um, in your career that involve teaching or selling or expressing ideas. You're thinking in terms of how can I move upward, and I encourage that enormously. Venus has also been in your 10th house. That's the pink planet. Venus is love, it's money, it's beauty, it's all good stuff. That's a technical term. It is everything you want. It's called the lesser benefic. Jupiter is the greater benefic, and together they're the two good guys of the zodiac. It's been in your 10th house. You've loved being in the limelight. You've loved uh, working at your career, and you have appeared to people as a loving leader. I think that's gorgeous. Now, on the 16th, Venus moves into the 11th house, and you love your friends. You want to expand your friendship circle, or perhaps pick up where you left off with friends you haven't seen in a while. However, the biggest thing about this is the humanitarian side within you that emerges, because that's what the 11th house is. It's what's good for the whole is good for the individuals within the whole. Beautiful. Okay. At the end of the month, literally the 30th of August, Mercury moves into your 11th house and joins Venus. And so there's lots of activity, if you choose, with friends, with groups of people. And I would suggest becoming involved with a philanthropic or humanitarian group of people. Mars. Wow. Mars, the red planet. It's the planet of war. It rules gunfire. But I'm not suggesting that it's going to manifest that way in your chart. Wherever Mars is what we throw ourselves into. It's what we fight with or fight for, or both. And because it is what comes first to us, wherever Mars is, that's where our energy goes. Well, look at this 10th house that you've got here. You have the sun, the center of life. You're in the 10th house of career. You have Mars, what comes first to you, being on top in your career. So your ambitions are running high. Venus, what you love in the 10th house of career. You see in a picture form here, this is glorious. And last but not least, Mercury, thinking, talking, sharing ideas. You know, I'm going to tell you to focus on that 10th house. Okay, it's pretty clear. Now, we have a new moon on the 8th in 16 Leo. Find 16 Leo in your birth chart and blend it with the new moon in the 9th house of the higher mind in your solar chart. On the new moon, energy starts moving forward. And this is why it may take about a week for the energy involved in the sun and Mercury to kick in, because the new moon is on the 8th, and for a couple of days before the new moon, we're in the dark of the moon and nothing happens. It's like nothing. Okay, the full moon, when things come to a head, is on August 22nd. It's in 29 degrees, 37 minutes of Aquarius. And hang on 1 second. Here we go. It is just minutes from Pisces. And so, even though it is literally in the third house, it's behind the fourth house cusp, the IC, the Imam Sili. And so, there is a hidden element of home and family and real estate involved here, which is really great. So, are you moving? Are you renovating? Are you selling? Are you buying? This type of thing. Home, family, and real estate. And anything relating to our emotional security. That is what you're going to be dealing with uh, right around the end of the month in the in 22 on August 22nd. Very, very interesting. So, don't you love this forecast? I love your 10th house. I love your 9th house too. The 10th goes straight up. No lateral moves. Head for the top slot. Claim your leadership. So, isn't that awesome? So that's what I have to share with you. I hope you'll join me next month when once again I take a look at your glorious forecast. Until then, this is Maxine Taylor saying, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours. See you next month.